Gentlemen, welcome back to the Tiege Hanley Starting a Business, Building a Brand vlog. This one, big number 137. So before we get to the most amazing piece of marketing content ever created by any marketing content creator ever, it's actually really awesome or really weird. I'm going to let you guys decide. I'm going to show it here. I want to talk about something that we're doing that's really exciting that involves you. And that is we're casting. Tiege Hanley is casting for 5 to 8 of you guys who live in the Chicago area, Chicagoland area. B, you've got to be a Tiege Hanley customer. You have at least had to have 2 Tiege Hanley systems sent to you, and you've got to use them or have used them. You also, let's see, Cindy sent me what I need to tell you guys because I'm not going to remember. 2 orders, July 12th and 13th. You've got to be available one of those 2 days. You've got to agree to sign the Tiege Hanley usage contract, which means that if you do this, if you participate, we get to use your stuff on marketing materials on our website. If we want to do a billboard, how awesome would that be? You want a Tiege Hanley billboard? We're not doing billboards, if I can help it. Kelly, I think, wants to do billboards. I'm just kidding. You must be 18 years of age or older. And you're going to get some Tiege Hanley swag and our eternal gratitude. And it's going to be awesome. You get to be a bigger part of the story, the message, the history of this incredibly amazing company, which gets more amazing every single freaking day. And so the way that it's going to work, Christian is going to be flying up to Tiege Hanley headquarters to Chicago. And we have rented a house that we filmed the acne video. If you guys haven't seen the acne video that we filmed, it's Kathleen's nephew, which Kathleen is our controller, and her nephew's an Alpha M fan who's like, yo, I'll do it. And so we hired him to be the, I don't actually know if we hired him. So don't tell him, anyway. He was in the video, and it's amazing, and I did the voiceover. And so it was really awkward and weird because usually the way that it works is you'll film something, you'll do voiceover, and it's all sort of together. Well, we had to break it up because I wasn't able to get to Chicago, and Cindy found this bathroom. It was the bathroom of bathrooms in terms of just, see, part of Cindy's job is the aesthetic, is the messaging, is all of the wording, is everything, it's branding, right? And so the old videos that we did for Tiege Hanley, the original ones were shot in my bathroom in my loft, which was a cool bathroom, right? It had like marble countertops, it was slate in the back, it was cool, but it was a lighter aesthetic. And Tiege Hanley is really like doubling down on this whole like dark concept and going with like black and sexy, like dark. And so they found a bathroom in Chicago in this house that was so freaking cool. Christian sent me pictures of the house. And the bathroom was amazing. And so Christian and Thomas flew up to Chicago and did this video shoot with Kathleen's nephew. And then afterwards, about a week later, came to my office, and we did the voiceover. Well, it sucked. It wasn't right. It didn't flow with what they filmed, and so we had to actually film it again a week later, right before launch. It was this crazy scramble. But the video turned out pretty good, to be honest. I think it's great. And the graphics are amazing, but it's this house that and this bathroom specifically, that we are using in a lot of the Tiege Hanley material. And so you're going to go to the house. Those of you that are interested and that get selected will be going to the house. Christian will be there, and he'll be filming you. Going to ask you some questions. You know, do you like Tiege Hanley? Why'd you start using Tiege Hanley? I don't know exactly what the questions are, but going to be something similar to that. And then we're going to use it wherever, and it's awesome. And like I said, you're going to get some Tiege Hanley swag and some other good stuff. What else? Yeah, that's about that. Oh, how do you do it? How do you apply? There's a link down in the description, guys, to go fill out the survey or the questionnaire. We're going to screen everybody because you got to like actually be a Tiege Hanley customer and have gotten 2 kits. You've got to, we've got to ask the right questions. We've got to see pictures of you and all that good stuff. But if you're interested and in the Chicagoland area where you can get to Chicago, don't travel. Like don't like take a flight, right? You got to live in Chicago. We're also not providing transportation. The link is down in the description for you to go and fill out the survey and apply. And they're going to, you know, basically do what they do at Tiege Hanley HQ, and Josh and Cindy are going to go through them and pick 5 to 8 people to do this. And so it's going to be really cool. I'm not exactly sure, and I don't think they're really sure how we're going to utilize it 100%, but we're taking advantage of the fact that we've got this house that we rent for the day. Christian's going to be there. I've got to actually go to the house before you guys get there and film like all the Tiege Hanley videos. We're redoing all the videos that we did in my old bathroom, just trying to make it more consistent, because that's one of the biggest things for us and our brand and your brand, if you're starting a company, is consistency in the imagery and the messaging and the text and everything, right? It's about consistency in order to really build a strong brand and to get the aesthetic, you know, sort of where it needs to be. But that's all I want to talk about with that. Next, let's talk about the most amazing piece of marketing material ever created. So I don't know who had the idea, but somebody had the genius idea to create a little like old school like video game of me. And let's roll it. So when I saw this, I was like, oh my God, you guys, like, it looks so much like me. It's just so funny, right? And so I posted it on my Instagram as a video, and people freaked. They're like, oh my God, this is amazing. And I actually said, is this amazing? Is this awesome? Or is this just so freaking weird? And it was funny because on Instagram, everybody loved it, right? They're like, oh, this is the greatest thing ever. But I also posted it on my Facebook, on my personal Facebook. And it was so funny to listen to all these people give their feedback, because they thought that I was actually asking for like their opinion on what should be changed and is this good. And so I had all these people like talking, not all, I had a few people that were like, yeah, it's pretty good, but the products come too fast and you really can't, and you don't know what it is. And you know what else some people said? They said that it was racist. Like, this is how insane our society is going. People are taking that and saying that it's a racist thing because it's like, I'm gray and then I eat Tiege or whatever and I turn colored. It's like, really? It was so funny because people, like, the fact that there are people out there that, like, these are people that are just like, it doesn't matter. You could teach blind kittens to read. They're going to find. Their radars are so like, they're looking for anything to get pissed and infuriated and like, just, it's insane. And this is how I know that we're in trouble as a society. Actually, we're not in trouble as a society, and I'll tell you why. Because these people posted the comment on, I forget, I think it was on the Tiege Instagram channel or something, and saying like, oh, this is racist. And the people that jumped in to basically be like, are you insane? Are you insane? Was amazing. And so there's still hope for our society. But there are some people that seriously, like, they need to get a hobby other than trying to look for things to be irate about and look into like, seriously. Seriously? Oh, I have heard it all. Seriously, people are funny. Down in the comments, let me know. Is it racist? Do you like it or do you love it? Down in the comments, let us know. Should we do more of this stuff? Like, somebody's actually thinking about doing like an internal like Tiege Hanley game that we send out to customers. Like, I don't know. I just think it's funny. We are rolling with it. But this ties and dovetails perfectly into what I'd like to talk about today. And it actually is inspired by an email that I got from Akin. You guys have heard me talk about Akin. He's our digital marketing director, and he is the man. He has worked at a ton of different companies, big, monstrous companies, and we are very lucky and fortunate to have him. Well, what Akin has done since he's come in has been spectacular. Before Akin, we had hired a bunch of different agencies. They handled different things. One of them being our marketing in terms of cold conversions, our remarketing for Facebook, for Instagram, for the web. And they were sending us all this information of, oh, look at how much traffic you're getting, how much we're helping. Well, Akin comes in and he's like wise to all the games, right? He's like, come on, I've been down this road. This is not my first rodeo. He took one look and realized, wait a second, these are all like branded terms. And it's all people searching like Tiege Hanley and Tiege and best, you know, it wasn't like cold, like organic traffic that they were claiming. And so he's like, wait a second, this isn't right. And so we stopped that relationship. Akin came in and took it over, but Akin's like, yo, I'm still not like the guy that should be doing this. And so we now, like I said last time, we're testing 2 different agencies. But the story and the moral of the story is that you've got to be okay and you've got to be willing to fail at some of these tests that you do when it comes to marketing. You've got to throw a bunch of shit against a bunch of walls or one wall. You're throwing all sorts of stuff at it. And you've got to see what sticks. But in order to do that, you can't be so paralyzed and petrified with fear of failure that it prevents you from moving forward. And that is one of the most beautiful things that Akin has sort of instilled in us. You know, in our Facebook ads that he is testing and trying and different things, he's like messed up and tried like 30 different ads, right? And he's like throwing them out there. And then his whole thing is, you got to see what happens. You got to see what resonates. And you got to let the customers decide what a good ad is and what a bad ad is and what good marketing material is. And so that's one of the things that he has sort of helped Josh sort of do as well, because Josh is also like knee deep and embedded in the whole marketing message, creating ads, seeing what works, what doesn't work. And so the idea is create 2. Create one that's like on brand, on message, and create another one that's kind of like, who knows, we'll see. Throw them both out there and sit back and wait. Give them an equal chance to do well, right? Give them the same budget, same like sort of parameters, but wait to see and let the audience tell you which one is good and which one is bad. And when you split test, that is when you're going to have a better read on what is going to be successful. But one of the problems that I know I get into, and probably you get into as well from time to time, is that we're afraid. We're so afraid to try things that are outside of the box and that are different than what we think or what has worked in the past, that it prevents us from moving forward. And a lot of times it will stifle and stun our growth as a business, as a company, and as a product, whatever you're trying to sell. And so the message here is, don't be afraid of failure. You've got to test a bunch of stuff to find the gems. And so Akin was actually giving me some data and some numbers from himself. You know, he might try 30 to find 15 or 10 ones that actually are good. But that means that 15 or 20 of them were failures and didn't work. But you've got to be okay with that. And what happens by testing a bunch of stuff, by trying different things, you will see your cost, your customer acquisition cost, start to drop to an amazing number, because you've sort of didn't have all your eggs in one basket that you're like, this has got to work. And you sort of double down on something. You got to test, you got to try. And if at the end of the day you're wrong, it's okay. Forgive yourself, recognize it fast, and move on. And once you test and your audience decides what the winner is, then you double down and move in that direction. It's a much smarter way to go about spending money and really, you know, developing a marketing strategy. But that is the beautiful thing about Tiege Hanley, right? Big brands, they have a difficult time. The beautiful thing about Tiege is that we're small and we're nimble. And so we've got Akin and we've got Josh and we've got these agencies that are able to test a bunch of different things to see what ultimately works and what resonates. And so we can do fun things like the animated alpha and you know what? Just try things. It's okay. Don't be afraid to fail and push yourself outside of that comfort zone, because that is going to be the best thing you ever did. If you would have told me, here's the thing, right? If you would have told me 10 years ago that I would make my living talking to a camera, that I would make my living, you know, basically being, you know, this internet person that relies on technology to make a living, I would have punched you in the face. because that was so far outside of my comfort zone that, like, no way. I was so scared of technology. I was petrified. I wasn't somebody who was real comfortable getting in front of a camera when I first started. But you take a risk, and I risked. I didn't know where it was going to lead or what was going to happen. But look what's happened, right? Like, the best decision I ever made was being willing to be uncomfortable and trying something. And at the end of the day, I've tried a lot of things, right? I've tried a lot of businesses. I've tried a lot of things over the course of my career. Some have worked incredibly well, the recent ones, right? But the only way I got to that was by trying a bunch of stuff and screwing it up. I'm not sure who said it, but there was somebody who was very famous. I can't remember who. It was a business person. And he was asked the question, how do you make good decisions? And he said, because I've made a lot of bad ones, or something to that effect. Don't quote me or don't quote him. But it's true, right? You got to try things. You got to make bad decisions. You got to fall on your face. But the word and the term that Akin uses is you're failing forward. With each time you try something, each time you fail, you're moving one step closer to that goal, to that dream, to that success. And until you get comfortable and sort of lean into the fact that you're going to screw things up and not everything is going to be a home run winner, that is the time and that is the place in which you need to get in order to truly succeed. And so I guess that's probably where I want to wrap this vlog up. Fall forward. Be brave enough to fall and fail forward. It's a lesson that I think a lot of people sort of can grasp and understand, but it's very difficult to do because it hurts to fail, right? And it's not fun, and it might be expensive from time to time, but don't double down, right? It's much less expensive to fail temporarily and readjust, reevaluate, try something else than it is to just go down a path or one direction that you're constantly like just throwing money at, good money after bad. That's much more expensive and much more detrimental to you and your business and your brand. So be brave enough, strong enough to fail forward. Gentlemen, you're amazing. You're beautiful. And hopefully you want to be a part of the story and the Tiege Hanley legacy, because we need you. 8 of you, 5 of you. So we're not hiring models. It's you. This business, this brand was built around you from day one, and it will continue to have you at the core of what makes it so amazing. And it's incredible to be a part of this. And so, guys, thank you so much. Without you, none of this happens. Without you, none of this works. And you've just been an inspiration to all of us, and you're the reason we get up. You're the reason we keep pressing forward and trying to create the best company, the best products. Like the products we've got in development right now, like insane. You know how many freaking versions of chapstick when I thought like, oh, we got the one, it wasn't right? Like, you know how, like, we keep going down the road to try and make the most perfect products we possibly can. Now, at some point, we got to pull the trigger, but from chapstick to deodorant to body, like everything. Guys, you're incredible. We love you more than our double monk strap shoes, and we'll see you soon. Actually, we'll see you next week. And then after that, we'll see everybody in Chicago. Guys, you rock, and I love you. Bye-bye.